Why do editors working the hardest seem to be making the least? You've seen it. Editors grinding 60 hours a week, juggling 5 clients, optimizing their workflow down to the minute, and they're still stuck at like 2K a month. Then you see some guy with 1 client charging per video what most editors make per month, who's actually able to enjoy life on top of that. What does he know that you don't? It all comes down to one word: leverage. See, there are 2 paths you can take as an editor. One is the volume path. More clients, more hours, more videos. And it has a ceiling. The other is how I made over 100K from 1 editing client. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how. The DM that started it, the mistake that almost ended it all, and the 3 things high-paying clients actually care about. And spoiler, it's not views. Here's what I see all the time. Editors who are stuck think that the way out is volume, optimizing their workflow so they can edit faster, waking up earlier, staying up later, grinding more hours. And sure, that works. Well, kind of, to a point. You go from 1K to 2K, maybe 3 if you really push it. But then you hit a ceiling. You're maxed out on time, you're exhausted, and the only way to make more money is to somehow clone yourself. That's the trap, because when your entire business model is edit more videos, you have 0 leverage. You can be replaced by a few editors who are slightly slower than you, or maybe even AI in a few years. But the editors charging 5 times what you do, they're not competing on volume. They're competing on depth. They've gone so deep with 1 client, studied their format, understood their audience, learned to think the way the client thinks. No one else can do what they do. They're irreplaceable, and irreplaceable editors don't compete on price. One of my students, Denal, just raised his rate from 4 to 6K per month with a single client. 3 months into the relationship. That's a 2K per month raise, which, by the way, is what most editors make in total. And he's just getting started. That's what leverage looks like. So, how do you build it? Well, you need to understand 2 phases of scaling: twist and stick. Twist is the first phase. You're client hopping, learning fast, raising rates by jumping from 1 client to another, 200 per video, then 300, then 500. You're not committing to anyone long term just because you're still figuring things out. And that's fine. You're actually supposed to be in this twist phase early on. But it has a ceiling that keeps most editors stuck forever. To break through, you need to enter stick. Stick is when you find a client worth going all in on. Someone with a real budget. Someone whose content you actually enjoy editing. And instead of chasing the next client, you double down. You build leverage by becoming the only editor who truly understands their videos. The real question is, how do you know when you found that client? August 2023, I get a DM on Twitter from a creator I'd never worked with before. Now, at this point, I've worked with a bunch of clients, and every single one of them had budget constraints. I could have been better, sure, but it didn't matter because they couldn't afford to pay more anyway. This client was different though. They agreed to 700 immediately. No pushback, no negotiations, just yes. And that is the signal. That's how you know that you found a stick client. Believe it or not though, there are way more clients like this than you think. Where most editors go wrong is they just don't understand what these clients are looking for, and they end up just fumbling them. Most editors think high-paying clients are paying for more views, better retention, viral videos, flashy effects that make the intro look cool. But here's the truth. Premium clients, especially ones with real businesses, aren't hiring you to get more views. They're figuring that out themselves or have strategists. What they need from an editor is something completely different. They need someone who makes their life easier. Someone they don't need to manage, someone who just gets it. And getting it comes down to what I call the 3S framework. It took me years to master all 3, but there is no way to scale past 3K a month unless you do. The first S is story. Can you create the viewer experience? Can you make people feel something? This is flow, pacing, music selection. Understanding what the viewer came for and seamlessly guiding them through the video. Most editors think about what looks cool. The best editors think about what the viewer wants to see. And here's how I actually got better at this. Every single video, I treated revisions differently from most editors. Instead of getting annoyed at the client and hating the revisions, I realized that they're literally a cheat code. Think about it like this. You're in math exam at school. You haven't prepared at all, but you have this friend, the smart kid, and somehow he slips you the cheat sheet. Not just the answers though, but the full solution. So exactly how he got to the answer himself. Most editors, they copy the answer and throw away the sheet. They make the change the client asked for, ship the video, and move on. But they never look at the solution. They never asked why. Why did the client want this change? What's the pattern here? So next video, they need the cheat sheet again. They need the client to handhold them through the whole process every single video. And the editors who gain leverage, they study the solutions. They find the patterns. They start thinking like the client thinks. And eventually, they don't need the cheat sheet anymore. February 2024, the last video is still popping off, 1 of 10. Everyone is happy. I'm working on the next one. The deadline is a bit tight, but I managed to submit the first draft just in time. Honestly, without much expectation. But the client gets back to me with this message. There were some minor tweaks, but the V1 was basically perfect. And that's when I unlocked the second S. Style. See, high-paying clients don't care about your style, what looks cool, or what's trendy. They care about one thing and one thing only: what will resonate with their audience. And this is where most editors mess up. They have their ways of editing, favorite presets, go-to effects, and even deeper, the way they think about editing. And they force every client into it. But your job isn't to impose your style, but to adopt the viewer's perspective. What do they want to see here? What serves the story? What fits this specific audience? That's being a specialist. That's what builds leverage. So if you want to land high-paying clients, you need to adapt your editing and develop a unique style for each of them. That's why I just built this AI tool that will help you do it for absolutely free. It follows the exact process I've developed over the years and will help you fill out this client DNA sheet with fonts, colors, and even music genres that fit your specific client best. Go ahead and join my free school community using the link in the description and get access to this AI tool and many more useful resources for editors. Now, back to the story. At this point, I was still juggling multiple clients. In January, I made around 4K total, but spread across 5 different clients. Some of them inconsistent. So one week I'd have nothing, the next week I'd be drowning in deadlines. And I looked at this main client. Consistent work, real budget, content I actually enjoyed editing, so I made a decision. Late February 2024. At this point, I was charging around 1K per video depending on the project. But the price that would make me want to go exclusive with this client and deliver weekly videos for them was 2K, basically double. So I typed a message on WhatsApp, read it back a few times, finally hit send, and I'm not gonna lie, I was completely shitting myself. I wasn't panicking exactly, I knew they probably wouldn't drop me, but I didn't fully believe they would say yes either. 2K per video, that felt insane. Finally, they replied and actually agreed to my price raise. That week, I dropped all my other clients. And contrary to popular belief of don't put all your eggs in one basket, it felt so good. No more juggling 5 different deadlines, no more 60-hour weeks after a month of no work, no more context switching between completely different formats and videos. Just one client, one format, one relationship to nurture. I went from 4K a month spread across 5 clients, inconsistent by the way, to 8K a month from just one. And more importantly, I felt so much more fulfilled. All my creativity went towards this client only, which allowed me to deliver my best work. It felt like bliss, but I still had one more lesson to learn, and I learned it the hard way. 3 months later, I missed a deadline. I was so focused on making the video perfect because, I was charging this much that I delivered 3 days late. And the client said something that stuck with me since then. We're paying you so much money for every video and you still can't deliver on time. That guilt, honestly, it was good, just because I never wanted to feel it again. That's when I learned the third S. Schedule. This might be the most important one, especially for clients with real businesses. Here's what a lot of editors don't understand. High-paying clients would rather get a 90% polished video on time than a 100% perfect one 3 days late. Over-delivering is great. It improves your skill, you post the cool edits and build your brand that way, you improve the relationship with this client, but it's a luxury. A luxury you get when you know you're on time and you have that extra time to go the extra mile. What's not a luxury though is their posting schedule. Their audience expects consistency. Their business depends on content going out on time. When you miss a deadline, you're not just late. You're messing with their views, their customers, their revenue. So, story, style, schedule. The 3S framework. Master these and you become irreplaceable. And here's what happens when you are irreplaceable. In late 2024, I got a raise rate to 2.5K per video without even asking. The client just noticed that the quality has been going up consistently and offered the raise themselves, alongside a few couple $1,000 bonuses throughout our relationship. If you're stuck in the twist phase right now, juggling clients, optimizing your workflow, trying to edit more videos in less time, I get it. I was there. And this phase is actually essential. You can't skip it. The most important thing is to not get stuck here forever and eventually enter the stick phase. That's where the real leverage and money is. Now, like I mentioned, my stick client came from a Twitter DM. So if you're looking to land a client that's actually worth sticking to, check out the video you see on screen right now where I show exactly how I did it.